Another story we've been following closely here. It's a murder case in France that sparked outrage around the globe as the High Court there held up a ruling earlier this month that the killer of the Jewish woman, Sarah Halimi, could not be held criminally responsible for throwing her out of a window while yelling "God is great" in Arabic, all because he was in a state of quote-unquote cannabis-induced psychosis at the time of the attack in her home. And the protests against the ruling took place yesterday in several cities around the world. Our Daniel Tzemach was at the demonstration outside the French consulate in Tel Aviv. Correspondent Eduardo Quay covered the mass rally in Paris, and our Mike Wagenheim was at a vigil outside the French consulate in New York City.
This court verdict is raising international concern and international outrage. The latest here in Tel Aviv, hundreds gathered outside of the French embassy, sharing their frustration and also sharing in a moment of silence, which really began the ceremony here today to show solidarity for Jews around the world who are demonstrating in light of the court's decision that the individual who was responsible for the murder of Sarah Halimi was not deemed fit for justice, given the fact that he had ingested marijuana. And this is an issue that people here are not going to stand quietly by. They want justice to be served, if not in France, then at least here in Israel. Let's take a listen to what some of them had to say.
Because I think that the French justice is a shame. To know that someone can kill someone and be free after all, it's not normal. I'm upset. I have a friend who wants to give back his French passport. He's not longer, he don't feel like he's French. We feel French Jews feel that they are abandoned.
As we said, raising international concern. It wasn't just Tel Aviv. We also saw demonstrations being held in London, in New York City, as Jews around the world are taking this cause to heart and are trying to make a change before it's too late. Earlier, one of our own correspondents was at the demonstration in Paris.
We are at the start of this massive demonstration here at the Place de Trocadero in Paris. Thousands and thousands of people have shown up, including all, of course, of the Jewish religious leaders, a lot of very top French politicians, but also top Muslim leaders. All of them here determined to denounce what they consider to be an outrageous decision by the Supreme Court of France that decided that the man who killed Madame Halimi should not be tried. A lot of people here with posters saying "smoke and kill." A lot of people, a lot of actors who have been passed on a huge screen saying here that in France you can smoke pot, you can get drunk, and then you can kill and you can go free. The Jewish community here, but not only the Jewish community, is absolutely determined to make their point that this cannot go on and that the anti-Semitism in France has got to stop. I've spoken with several Jewish people today who told me that they feel scared for themselves, scared for their children, scared for their grandchildren, and that they must put a stop to what they consider to be rising anti-Semitism. It is highly likely that this law will be changed in the next several months. Legislative leaders have indicated that over the past few days. For the moment, however, the Jewish community here, supported by many millions of Frenchmen, are determined to make the point about this judicial decision.
Maybe not the tens of thousands that we're seeing in the streets of Paris today, but nevertheless, a group of ardent supporters, rally-goers here outside the French consulate in New York City as the protest here gets underway on a rainy, dreary morning here in the Big Apple. This is one of a number of protests scheduled across the United States today in support of Sarah Halimi, trying to get justice for the murdered Parisian Jew. Other protests happening in Miami, Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles. There was a larger protest out here specifically for the Jewish community back on Tuesday. About 150 to 200 rally-goers out here holding a vigil and trying to get a message directly to the diplomats inside the French consulate, expressing their anger, expressing their frustration, expressing their displeasure at the fact that the French judicial system, the French government, failed Jews once again in Paris. With the help of the police out here on Tuesday, they were able to forward that message inside the consulate and on to French President Emmanuel Macron. We heard earlier, there was a change coming in the law. Too late, obviously, for Sarah Halimi. Those out here today say it's not enough, that there needs to be some sort of justice, not for the next person, not for the next victim, but for Sarah Halimi herself. Reporting from New York City, Mike Wagenheim, I-24 News.